Guys, here I am again in my room. It's pretty good setup. I have here, don't you think? I got a chair finally. Well, yeah, I'm recording this on short notice because I just had an idea. I've been reading the Bible and I've gone to the part of Genesis where you've probably heard of the Tower of Babel, haven't you? Even if you're not religious, you probably have a faint idea of what it is. But yeah, well, I got an idea while reading the Tower, and of course, as someone who has read Demi, and I'm all about alternative Bible analysis and interpretations, and I just really want to destroy anything. Well, when I've decided that when a teacher tells me something, the first thing I will do is question it. That includes things that are religious, things that have been accepted as normal truth. Sorry if I gave you a little too close shot of my eyes there. Well, I think you can see stuff in the reflection of my glasses. Oh, you can see me. Well, I pulled up the passage. It's on a .com website, so I don't trust anything .com. If a religious site is .com, then I do not trust it. If you try to teach me religion in a commercial way, I will not trust it. But I'm not going to dilly-dally any longer. First, I'm going to tell you the passage, and then I'm going to explain the idea I had behind it. Alright, this is Genesis 11. Now the whole world had one language and a common speech. As people moved eastward, they found a plain in Shinar and settled there. They said to each other, "Come, let's make bricks and bake them thoroughly." They used brick instead of stone and tar for mortar. Then they said, "Come, let us build ourselves a city with a tower that reaches the heavens, so that we may make a name for ourselves. Otherwise we will be scattered over the face of the whole earth." But the Lord came down to see the city and the tower the people were building. The Lord said, "If as one people, speaking the same language, they have begun to do this, then nothing they plan to do will be impossible for them. Come, let us go down and confuse their language, so they will not understand each other." So the Lord scattered them from there all over the earth, and they stopped building the city. That is why it was called Babel, because there the Lord confused the language of the whole world. From there the Lord scattered them over the face of the whole earth. Now, if you're literate, like most people are, let me explain it to you in simpler terms. So, this takes place back in the day, back a long time ago before recorded history, where all of humanity speaks a common language and they have a common culture. So they decide that we, as humanity, must make a name for ourselves as the most powerful entity that lives in this earth. So they decide to make a tower. Of course, that's the simplest part of it. That tower will reach heaven, so that even if they are destroyed, as they would possibly be destroyed if they do not finish the tower, there will still be a monument to their existence. But God sees them building the tower to heaven and says, "No, this is a bad thing. I will scramble the languages of all mankind that are living in this city so that the tower will never be finished." So the tower is not finished because all the people are not allowed to communicate. They are unable to communicate. And this is the reason the Bible says that multiple languages exist, and by extent, multiple cultures, multiple races of people. Now, the normal interpretation that silly illiterate people do, is believe that God cursing humanity to speak different languages so that they will not be united is a curse or a punishment. For attempting to be like God is a sin. I believe the opposite. I believe that different cultures are necessary for human survival. Let's not make that mistake. And also, the scrambling of languages in this story was the means to an end. For if all of mankind was united under a single language, under a single thought, culture, ideal, existence, humanity would be worthless. In the same way that ants or bees follow their queen, humanity would not be able to persevere and innovate in the world. And so, then what is the Tower of Babel if it is all of humanity united as one? I believe the Tower of Babel is a panopticon. What a panopticon is imagine a prison, and there's a circle filled completely with cells. And in the middle of that circle is a tower, a watchtower. And someone sitting in that watchtower would be able to view what is going on in each of the cells without really moving. However, the people living in the cells would not know if the person in the tower was watching them or not. Therefore, they would be forced to act well, for they could be being watched at any time. And I believe the Tower of Babel is that prison tower, that prison watchtower, the Panopticon. As said in one of the passages, the citizens of Babel wished to build the tower in hopes that they would not be scattered over the face of the earth. But what would they be afraid about? If all of humanity was united, then there would be no thieves, no invaders. I believe that the citizens of Babel, the citizens of the one large nation on earth, were afraid of each other. And in the same way that the government in 1984, INGSOC, maintains rule over their citizens via fear, the nation of Babel, the king, the rulers, maintain their rule over humankind with fear. Therefore, the tower was built as a way to subjugate the rest of mankind, the rest of the citizens, so that they would not be able to act against the government, against the city, and therefore the city would exist for eternity. And so it is not a punishment for God to scramble the languages and make the city unable to build the tower. Rather, it is a gift or a means to an end, as I was mentioning earlier. Therefore, the scrambling of languages, the scrambling of cultures, ideas, is a blessing. And so, even though this is a religious college I'm going to, I do not want to think in the same way as everyone else. Rather, I will have my own ideas, for the God I believe in is different from everyone else's God. For I do not come from the same world. I am not of the same social class, of the same culture, of the same language. Even though we are all humanity, there is a difference between us. For lately it feels like there's a mark placed upon my forehead that punishes me to walk the earth forever without a home. Just like Cain, who killed his brother and was despised by the earth, unable to farm it. And therefore he wanders without a home. For even though I am different today, even though the mark may be placed upon my head, I'll still continue walking. I don't care if I'm different from everyone else. I deserve to be known And even though I may not build a large tower to keep the people around me in line, to keep them subjugated, I will still stand upright, even if it is standing upright against all of humanity. For I will not kneel. For it is not in my culture, in my blood, in my language to kneel. Just like Zapata said, I'd rather die standing than live kneeling. So, I hope this gives you some semblance of peace as well. It gives me peace to talk about it. And I want everyone to keep being different, to keep trying to find themselves. Just know that the meaning of life, at least to me right now, is the eventual discovery of the true self that lies within you. For it is a pathway that leads inward. You are the promised land. You are the treasure. You are the gold at the end of the rainbow. Keep walking. And thank you for watching.